So in a recent video, I pointed out how weird it was that Emu seems to have very similar abilities to Ganko because they too can make a arrow-pointed cloth-like structure like Ganko is known to do with the arrow fruit. Then a loyal commenter and subscriber Uvihas asked me this question concerning how is it possible that Emu can give out abilities based on whom has entered a covenant with them? Now, just to clear the air, and this might be controversial, but I have heard over the years that people have often thought that Emu can give out devil fruit powers, and perhaps Nika is the origin of devil fruit powers and all that. We know based on what Vegapunk says that none of that's true, okay? So in terms of giving out abilities, which is technically something that both Nika and Emu can do, I think the abilities that they give out are very specific to them. So with Emu, when they give someone a covenant mark, they have the ability to give them immortality. And there are various steps to this immortality because we have seen some people age, mostly everybody, and then some people don't, namely Ganko. So I think there are other tiers to this covenant thing that perhaps we don't know about. I think there could be more beyond the 3 that we have seen. Maybe there are 5. Don't know, but that's what I think. So in terms of bestowing power, I think it just goes that far. Now, in terms of Nika, when he touches people, he can turn them into rubber. We've seen Luffy do that to Kaido. So that's the power bestowment, if you want to call it that I think Luffy can do at this moment. There could be more, we don't know. But as far as power bestowment goes, I think that's the limit of what they can do. And then, of course, you know, there's the whole bit of possession with Emu in which they turn people into demons via another covenant. That's another thing, but that's still within the wheelhouse of everything else, more or less. So I don't think either one of them can actually give out devil fruit powers. That's not going to happen. So we have seen with all the 5 elders and with the Holy Knights that they have their own individual devil fruit abilities. All the Holy Knights devil fruit abilities, for the most part, have been named so far. We don't have a name for Shamrock's sword, but it's very likely that the sword being called Cerberus has the dog fruit mythical model Cerberus. Again, that's not official, but based on how things have been going, that's probably the case. Emu doesn't have a traditional devil fruit name, neither do the 5 elders, but based on how things have been going, it's very likely that they do. For example, Saturn most likely has the spider fruit mythical model Yuki. But in talking about Zoans, I think the interesting part about Emu's possession is that if they are a Zoan and they are in a Zoan state, they can be possessed and the Zoan state kicks off as it usually does. I'm not sure if Emu can activate a Zoan's transformation. That's not entirely clear, but I do think it is possible that they can suggest the user to activate their abilities while they're possessing them, because it seems like 2 minds are active while the possession is going on, because Ganko is able to break free from the possession during the events of Elbaf after she experiences some emotional distress upon seeing Brook. So breaking from it is possible. So I could possibly see that devil fruit activation can be possible while Emu is possessing the person, though I don't think Emu can actually activate their devil fruit. I don't think that's in their wheelhouse to do. What's also quite interesting in regards to another Zoan fruit is that Emu can affect the constructs of the dragon fruit mythical model Kirin, held by Remo Shifu Killingham. That was always weird to me, and I don't know what that's about, but if the possession is tied to the people of the land, I guess it would make sense in that regard, because Killingham can only make constructs based off of the dreams or thoughts, I guess, of the people of the surrounding area. So that means all of the nightmare creatures are technically from Elbaf because they are from the minds of the people of Elbaf. If I were to give an educated guess about what's going on there. That's what I would think. That's the reason why Emu is able to turn some of the constructs into demons, or at least that's what it looks like they did. So that's what I'm thinking. Emu can't bestow dough fruit powers upon people. They can only bestow what's in their wheelhouse to bestow. So immortality, a demonic form, or anything else that they may be able to do with their dough fruit ability, but they can't literally give out individualistic dough fruit abilities. For example, Emu didn't give Gonko the arrow fruit ability, most likely seeing as how they are a part of the world government and the world government has an abundance of resources. They can just go out and get these fruits wherever they are, or track down the people with these abilities, kill them, and have the essence go into the desired fruit that the essence came from originally, turn that into a dough fruit, and then the desired person can then eat that dough fruit. That's what I'm thinking is going on. I don't think anything particularly strange is happening. I don't think we're going to get into an upper echelon of deity figures that create dough fruits and all that. Not possible. We know that dough fruits come from the wishes of people, as Vegapunk described. But honestly, thinking about that now, it makes sense when you consider that we know from Brook's whole separation adventure that there are people in the world who do summoning rituals and want to summon Satan. So there are occultists in the One Piece world who believe in that type of thing. Therefore, it would only make sense for one of them in the past to perhaps wish to become such an entity. That's most likely why Emu's dough fruit exists in the first place. And we did a video as to what I think their dough fruit may be. So with that being said, I know people like to speculate about there being more, but that seems pretty definitive, even though it's framed as a theory provided by Vegapunk. That's most likely the case. But if you are enjoying the content so far, click the like button. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button, followed by that bell so you never miss a video. In addition, if you could, hit the hype button because it really does help. With that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Works.